Hi. That was a very exaggerated hi. Whoa. I'm Boardwalk. I made an album called Lifeboat. It's definitely come a long way. It was very fun to work on. Alongside the EP that contrasts with it, the EP and the album are supposed to go together. The EP is about how the school year went, or felt, really. And it was for 8th grade. And the album was more so about how my year felt and went. It's also kind of just about vocal progression, which I definitely don't want that to happen to the second album, so I've been working on it at the same time, because I'm gonna do this song. I feel like the album, more or less, is about how the year went for me, how it kind of conspires around just like my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, my brain. But it was definitely more or less about like vocal progression. I didn't care how bad it sounded, but I did work on it a very long time. I tried to space all the songs out because it just felt right. Obviously, sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. And then the EP is about 8th grade year, how that kind of felt. We don't talk about it, but it's about that. I definitely, if I could have, I would have gone on tour for sure, but I kind of didn't. So that was a sad thing to see. Plus, I gotta focus on school. But I would have enjoyed. Trust me, I would have enjoyed going on tour. Would that mean I had to be an opener? Yeah, but still would have enjoyed it. I feel like my favorite song on the album that I did compose, I composed everything by myself, by the way. I did all of this alone. But I feel like my favorite song that I composed was definitely probably when it was composing Sucker Punch on the album, and on the EP it was probably Thought and View for sure, even though I rewrote it like 50 times. My favorite song mid-production was probably Run It Because and that's on the album. Run It Because and Sounds Fun. And I feel like maybe my favorite after production is definitely, it's a tie on the album between See Through and Wake Up, better. But my favorite post-production on the EP is probably Wake Up, or also a tie. Wake Up or Thought and View, because those both are just really good ones, even though I forgot half of the lyrics on Wake Up. And See Through has a like first half that I never put in it because at the time of writing it sounded really bad, but now I'm looking back and I'm like, that song would have done so much better if it had that first bit. I am working on getting the album on CDs like I said I would. I'm gonna get a CD burner. I don't know if that's a CD burner, but in my monitor I have one, but it's backwards. My desk is also really backwards. But yeah. So there's that. I'm also gonna try to get Sounds Fun on CDs, and I'm gonna try to work on launching some merch, which I have some early stage merch, but not really the best. I'm working on a 2-board hoodie. It's epic. I definitely have something else coming up in the nearby future, so stick out for that. But I want to say a bit, I'm gonna be gone mid-production and all that. So keep your eye out for that. But yeah, I do have another album already. I have about 3 in my notes. I worked really hard on all of them. But other than that, there is a lot I want to talk about because I have a lot to tell like everyone, even though I can't really remember everything. I did custom guitars, obviously, because I'm gonna do that every album, by the way. Like, this is for Lifeboat, and like, this sounds fun. I'm not getting a bass, possibly, so don't ask me about that. I definitely, if I could have changed album covers, or like, not album covers, but single covers, I would have. This would have definitely went with the original pre-production sound of Speechless, because originally it was like, because baby, I know that I'm leaving you speechless, tell me why I'm feeling all these feelings. And so I really wanted to make the cover change and the EP change to Speechless instead of Sounds Fun, but I couldn't. I was gonna rename the album to Two Board Hoodie. Obviously, as you can tell, I didn't. Originally I was gonna make a Speechless music video. But I didn't have the right Western outfit kind of feel on, so I didn't do that. And then I'm gonna definitely have to get more of these, but I'm gonna work on Sounds Fun and Lifeboat hats. Different colors, different styles, you know. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. If I can, I will. It'll probably be next year or two. Yeah. That's all I have. I'm gonna talk about merch and single covers for, because a lot of the single covers were pretty good. I liked them. The Wake Up one, I would have probably done my bed, but the eye fits pretty well because it's like his eyes are golden brown. Plus my eye color is literally, I described my eye color before I even like actually looked at my eyes. But there's that. I definitely keep in mind, I'm not gonna say this is something I am gonna do for sure, but if I start driving by 16, I am definitely in 2 years gonna try to go on tour, so stay tuned. I love how I keep saying stay tuned. Keep in mind, this is died for something upcoming. I remember I dyed the underside, or is it the overside, little blue before, and it's going back to like a blue-green, so it's like a contrast from like the EP to the album to the next thing coming, which I definitely like. Like I said, next thing coming is definitely gonna be worked on for longer. But yeah, that's what those two are about. What this thing is about, mainly just, you know, an album, and not an album, but you know, a little thing about how it feels to have friends and stuff, how it is with me and my friends, like how I feel about, not how I feel about them entirely, but it's like how we feel about stuff, how we view our worlds, and also kind of just like, you know, there for it. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about EPs. I mean, not EPs. Wake Up. What am I on about? That's all I have to really say about Sounds Fun and Lifeboat. Although, if I could have, I would have definitely redone the whole thing. I do have possibly 5th or 6th, not promised, 5th or 6th album though, is definitely gonna be a redo of this one, but yeah, you know, because this one was pretty bad. But do keep your eye out. You'll find it in the future.